Yes, welcome again to your favorite channel on YouTube, which is WeChat. On WeChat, I believe you're not new, and if you are new on this channel, please stay tuned, kindly subscribe to the channel, and even discuss or share the channel among your friends. Because in our previous episode, we often try to engage those topical issues across the globe. And that is why if you watch our previous episode, you'll see topics that we discuss, ranging from those in Africa, even in Europe, America, and other parts of the world as well. On this particular episode, I will be highlighting a topical issues, which is sadly being talked about as well. For those of us that are from Africa, especially Nigeria, which is the case that I'm going to just highlight on. We often talk about those common challenges like corruption, for instance, poverty, for instance. We talk about that almost every now and then, and some other issues, even insecurity. Those are the things that we think are really peculiar to those problems that we discuss about in Africa or in Nigeria. But on this episode, uh, I really want to highlight the importance of data, not only that data is important or not just talking about the relevance of it, but specifically, I will talk about the inaccuracies or some of those kind of statistical information that we have regarding Nigeria, which I believe or which I think might not really be accurate. For instance, according to the World Bank, the Nigerian population is put at about 200 and over 230 million, which is huge. And there have been a lot of projection, a lot of discussion around that number. People believe that that in by the year 2030 or 2050, thereabout, that is about 20 or approximately 30 years from now, Nigeria will be among maybe fourth or third most populous countries in the world. But for me, I think regarding those statistical information, I really believe that it might not really be accurate. Of course, it might be difficult to have an exact or a perfect kind of data or statistical information like this coming from a country like Nigeria. But I think the margin of error might be something that is actually huge or significant. I believe that that number, saying that Nigeria has a population of over 230 million people, I think it's likely to be inaccurate. And I think I have reasons why I really want to believe that that number might not be accurate. When you look at, for instance, the population of Lagos, which is the largest city in Nigeria, the World Bank says the inhabitant of Lagos is approximately 16.5. Over 16 million people lives in Lagos. So if you say over 16 million people live in Lagos, it means then we have about 115, oh, sorry, 215 million people living elsewhere in other part of the world, other part of the country. Where are these people? So that's the question. So where are these people? And people can also argue that, oh, but we have other large cities across Nigeria. We have Port Harcourt, for instance. We have Kano. We have Ibadan. We have other, I mean, large cities, highly inhabited as well across the country. But if we look at the World Bank data as well, World Bank data regarding the population of urban agglomeration, that is, urban areas that have at least more than 1 million people. For Nigeria, the population of people that lives in those area that is at least not less than 1 million people, is put at just over 40 million people. So over 40 million people lives in areas that are more than 1 million people. So it means that We have about, then it means that we have about 190 million people or Nigerians lives in other parts of the country, I mean, that are, you know, less than 1 million inhabitants. So this is sort of disputable. I mean, I'm just trying to look through some of these statistical information just to query further that it is important to actually get some of these statistical information right because it will definitely help us to plan well in terms of budgeting. We'll be able to know the number of people that are vulnerable, that are really poor. We'll be able to know those that are working, the working class people. I mean, so having those statistical information rights is actually very critical. So that is why I think that further probing some of these statistical information, we show that after all, Nigeria might not be exactly what we think we are. We might not really be that 230 million people. Looking at, for instance, the case of Lagos, the largest city, 60 million. If you take 60 million from 130 million, that is, it means we still have about 250 million people living elsewhere in the country. When you also look at the way our voting has been, election has been, especially the presidential election since 2019. One, we also suggest that the number 230 million is questionable. For instance, INEC reports that, I mean, from INEC database, it's been reported that we have over 992 million people registered voters in Nigeria. So, of course, there are a lot of people who are not interested in voting and would not even would not even bother to register to participate in election. Me, for instance, I haven't participated in election even when I was in Nigeria, and I doubt if I'm in Nigeria, I will actually still do. So there is no doubt about that. There are millions of people who are not interested, who are not registered. But according to INEC, so we have Nigeria has 90 million or 92, over 92 million people, less than 100 million people registered voters in the country. And if you look at the pattern people who are in the presidential elections turnout has been, for instance, since 2019, the winner of each of these presidential elections in 2019, for instance, 2020, 2003, for instance, 2007, 2015, and the last one, 2023. So from 2019, for instance, to 2015, the winner of those elections has always emerged 24 million, 18 million, 15 million. For instance, Obasanjo versus Falai in 2019, Obasanjo had 24 million and Falai about 11 or 12 million. So, and the following election, 2003, Obasanjo again had, I think, 18 million against Buhari. Again, if you look at Yaradua against versus Buhari and Atiku, Yaradua had about 15 million, Buhari, I think, about 11 or so. And so, if you look at those elections, the winner has always had about 18, 24 million. And the runner-up or the best loser, we mostly had about 10, 11, 12 million. But that's not the case. Why I'm just saying this is that if you look at the last election, 2023 election, and sequel to that election, before that election, INEC did a lot of data cleaning in their registry. So they have to remove a lot of information of people that are not supposed to be in the registry, people that are already, people that are dead, maybe even underage registered voters as well. So there were a lot of cleaning. And so when that was done, at the end of that election, 2023, especially I'm talking about the presidential election, the winner had 8 million, followed by Atiku and Peter Obi, that had 6 million plus each. So you could see the winner of the last presidential election earned 8 plus million votes. if you compare that to previous election, which the winners has always had about 15, 18, and even 24 million, you will realize that that data cleaning by INEC help as well, to remove a whole lot of names and registrants that were not supposed to be in that data. Even that election, I mean, talking about the last one, where people were anticipating a huge turnout, you will see that even with all the anticipation of turnout, both the winner, if you add up the vote of the winner, which is 8 million plus the article, which is 6 million by Obi again, 6 million again, the total number of, if you look at the number of people that voted for these three major candidates, they were still far less than even 18 million. So, which used to be the chunk of vote received by the winner of those previous elections. So that is also to suggest that something is actually not right with data or statistic information. If you move from our election again and look at number of active mobile phone lines as well. In 2023, for instance, before the Nigerian Communication Commission decided to audit and try to link SIM with name. Some of us, no, not, I wasn't involved. A lot of people were able to do that, try to link their mobile lines with name. And before that exercise, the number of active mobile lines in Nigeria were over 225 million. But after that exercise, that number went down to as low as 165 million. So to see that something is actually not right. So there have been kudos to some of these exercises that have been undertaken by the Nigerian or the National Identity Management Commission, which currently has a register of about 121 million Nigerians, registered Nigerians. So, I mean, that is to say that of course, the intention was to give out, to have national ID card. So the number of people that are on that register now, supposedly to have national ID card, is 120 million. So even after, these some of this information has been able to be synchronized with other database like the telecommunication database and the rest. So you also see, if you go by the number of people in that registry, according to the National Identity Management Commission, 121 million are Nigerians only on that register. So what is the deficit? The deficit is still over 100 million Nigerians are not on that register. So where are they? So where are these over 100 million Nigerians that are still not on the National Identity Management Commission, that is NIMC? And the last one to look at is even the bank account as well. The bank account. According to Statista, Statista is a common database that display secondary data for countries and for so many things as well. Records that there is over 320 million bank accounts in Nigeria. That is even more than the known population of the country. But what the bank now did, especially through this NIMC, was to also kind of try to enforce Nigerians to link their bank accounts to bank verification number, which is BVN. And I think I did mine. So many of us did ours. Even those of us that live in diaspora, we also did ours as well. So after that exercise, linking bank accounts to BVN, so banks now have only over 66 million Nigerians who have valid or active bank account. So where are now these large deficits of Nigerians? Of course, well, it's expected that not all Nigerians will have or hold a bank account. But when you look at the population information regarding Nigeria, Nigeria is reputed to have a higher number of young population. So it's expected that a lot of people should have bank account compared to those who doesn't have, which are possibly those who are extremely old or extremely young. So to say that only 600, only 66 million, less than 70 million Nigerians have currently operate a valid bank account also suggests that there is a huge challenge regarding the statistical information on Nigerian population number. What I'm just saying is that I think some of these agencies are currently doing the right thing, which is to try to get to a point where we can actually say a number that is we can actually have a reputable number or a more reliable number regarding the population of the country or some of these statistical information because it's very important. So without that, it might be difficult to do proper planning regarding those, how do we plan for those that are poor? How do we plan for those that are retired? How do we plan for other issues, for instance? How do we plan even for elections, for instance? How do we know the people, the number of people who are going to turn up, expected number of people who will turn up for election? So those are really very, very important to have our data information more reliable. I think is very key to our development as well. I don't know if that's the case in other parts of Africa, but for Nigeria, I think uh, our population number of being reported put at 230 million is, for me, I think is questionable. And I think right now, I think the government is also encouraging Nigerians to have a tax identification number. So that is every Nigerian is expected to have a tax identification number. So that is another exercise again. I guess the intention of the government is to have some of this number and be able to harmonize them so that at the end there will be more, there will be a more reliable data or statistical information. So I will encourage Nigerians to also do that tax identification number. I haven't done mine. So I will get information on how to do that as well so that I can do that because I think it's actually important that we get our numbers right. I don't know what you have. I don't know what your comment is regarding these highlights about data and the relevance or the importance of data in Nigeria. For your own comments or your own opinion, I will expect you to express your comments in the comment section when you watch the video, as you watch this video. And please don't forget, please, that it is important that your friends need to know about this channel. They need to engage with some of these discussion as well. So please do share, do like, subscribe, and tell your friends to do as well, to do so as well. Thank you so much. I hope that on our next episode, we'll have another engaging topic like this. Thank you, and bye with chat.